Hello everyone and welcome to Life with Khristy. Did you know that more than 77% of those who wrote the B1 exam last year failed? Today I'll be sharing some tips, some proven tips on how to ace your B1 exam. Let's get into it. The B1 exam is an exam that evaluates your language skills on an intermediate level, your ability to flow in real life or communicate in real life situations. I will start by showing you my B1 exam, and here it is. And with this, I would tell you as to how your B1 exam first would be evaluated. So the B1 exam I have here in my hand is the Deutsche test for Zuwanderer. Zuwanderer is like a migrant. Sorry. From the A1 level, A2, B1 level, the B1 niveau is one that evaluates how you can speak, your listening, your writing, and also your reading. So these four aspects are being evaluated. For you to get the basic B1 in your hearing, that's listening, you have to get and reading are evaluated the same way. This is for GAST. So reading and listening they're evaluated the same way. You should get a total of 33 to 45. The highest mark is 45, so you should get at least 33 for you to get a B1 level for reading and listening. For writing, you should get from 15 to 20. And for speaking, you should get from 75 to 100. So this is the basic of B1. But if you don't get that, also you would have the A2. So you have this, I'll show you the back. It's also there. So you know that this is correct. So A2 is, if you get under that, 20 to 32 and thereabout. And then unter A2 is just A1. But okay, so let's start. So for me, when studying for the B1, in fact, my reason for studying was like, okay, yes, I want to be able to communicate fluently in German with other people around. I would say that at my point of A2, I was still having like, I was still breaking. I was still like gathering my vocabulary and learning. So the first one for the B1 exam would be to get your vocabulary up, because there is no way you can learn without getting your vocabulary up. So I have a book here where I also used to like write my vocabulary. So I write my vocabulary there in the book, and I read it every day, really, on my way to work and all of that. I read my vocabulary every day. I try to use it and like understand it in context. And that's why I'll say for you to use platforms like DWDS. So these are platforms where you're not Google Translate. I know many of you currently use Google Translate, but it's not going to work for you if you want to pass this. It's basically going to give you, yes, an understanding of things, but really to work with it, use use dwds.com, or you use deeply, yeah. And I am not being I'm not sponsored by any of these companies, so if they see this, it would be wonderful for them to sponsor me, okay. And then number two, I would focus on the reading part. For the reading part of the test, you would need to like read into stories, books. I would tell you to read text and make sure that you read faster as you go, read faster, learn faster as you go. Like because the reading part has a particular time limit for you to be able to read everything. So this would mean that I would also put down the link as to the times that everything takes, so you can just like read that and be sure about it. So you have to read in that particular time frame. And then I would also think about the writing part. For the writing part, I would tell you to focus on writing. It's writing of you have to write a complaint. A complaint as to something that didn't come early. Mostly is formal. Sometimes some people get an informal one, like to congratulate somebody on something. So yeah, sehr geehrte Frau Schmidt, learn your writing. I will tell you that I also have my writing book here. Let me open to it so that it's not like, yeah, and I practice that every day like nobody's business. You see the open back. Oh yeah, it's because it's picking my face. You get your writing and you write everything you can. Practice it and practice it and practice your writing. I would also put like a link as to several writing options that you can also practice. This is very important. The next thing I would say that you should focus on is the speaking. I tell you, speaking was one of the very important aspects for me, as in my own situation that day, I'm thankful to God, really. But at the beginning of my B1, sincerely, I couldn't say anything. And it took me 2 months to learn B1. It was an intensive course, and it was 2 months. I used to learn B1.1 and B1.2. So those 2 months, I tell you, indeed, in 2 months, I started speaking. I started speaking to a level that I could actually speak in an exam. And yes, it is doable. It is possible.
You see at least that it is possible.
It is possible, but you have to speak. If you're anywhere, speak. Speak in German. If someone wants to speak to you in English, if you're in places like Berlin, correct them and tell them, oh, Entschuldigung, ich kann nicht auf Englisch sprechen. Even when they hear your accent, like, ja, bitte kannst du auf Deutsch reden? Yeah, and then you speak only in German. That's the way. There is no way you can get into the language or feel yourself into a language without speaking it. Once you start feeling so free, your brain starts accumulating, because it just soaks the sponge, it just soaks the language. Once you flow in it, once you give yourself to it. And I would tell you, imitation is your best friend. You find a word, frame it in the way or context that you would like to say it, and then go out and practice it with somebody. And there will be all this, as I said in my last video, if you haven't seen it, that was 5 ways to learn German fast. Sprachcafés, they are important. There's several Sprachcafés in Berlin that you can go to. If you want that, just write in the comment section Sprachcafé, and I would also add that, send that to you if that's what you want. Sprachcafé, and I will get that to you. So many in Berlin, so many in Germany, so many places that you can go to in person to speak with other people. And if you're not in Germany, there are also Sprachcafés online that you can join into, and you can also speak with other people. So, and then the last one would be to practice, practice, practice.
Practice, practice, practice.
Schedule a study time. If you're learning with other people in your group, that's what I also did. Schedule a time where I can actually practice the reading. For instance, I think I have it here. Yes, there you see, this is my reading. I label it. There's several on YouTube that you just like practice your reading, your hearing. If you do that and you find out that, okay, yes, I am not so good in my hearing, go hard on it. That's like yeah, go hard on it, and go home, or go home. That's it with German. Go hard or go home. So you practice, practice, practice. And I know like some people will be working at the same time as learning, and they have kids. There are so many things that distracting. I would say you should try to incorporate that into your life. If you're in a German firm, then it will be easier for you to start to speak to people. I know and I understand that sometimes there'll be things that you have to try to clarify in English, or you might not be able to speak about in English. Or in fact, if the people that you're studying with also in school, speak to them in German. Have some German friends, some German colleagues, go to some German eat out, whatever event, go there and speak in German. Okay, if there's any other thing you want me to talk about or touch in this in my channel or on my channel, I will be so happy to talk about that. And if you found these tips helpful, it will be wonderful for you to subscribe and like and share to other people, so it can help them on their journey to bettering their German. And there's so many things in Germany too I will be talking about in going forward. If there's something else you want me to talk about, just in the comment section below, and I'll be happy to talk about them. So from me, thank you and have a wonderful day. Bye! Until next time. Bis nächste Mal. Tschüss!